Hi, Lucy and John here for Wex Photographic, and today we've come all the way to sunny Brighton to take a look at Canon's latest and third-gen mirrorless compact camera, the EOS M3.
We're going to take the camera all around Brighton, we're going to see the sights, and we're going to see what the M3 can do. But first, let's take a look at the specs. The M3 has a 24.2 megapixel sensor, which is great if you're creating large prints of your images. But even if you're not printing your photos, that extra size gives you the room to crop into your images if you need that flexibility. The M3 uses Canon's powerful Digic 6 processor, which helps to deliver fast and smooth hybrid autofocusing, much better than the original M. The ISO has also been increased to 12,800, which will help out in low light situations, although I'd avoid using anything higher than ISO 6400. The camera's kit lens has image stabilization built into it, which is really good for those low light situations when you want to keep the noise down and use a slower shutter speed.
When it comes to design, the M3 is a great size. It's nice and compact, and it has proper grip, making it comfortable to hold and use even when operating it one-handed, a feature the original EOS M camera severely lacked, and something those familiar with the original will truly appreciate. Now, Canon's also chucked in a couple of dedicated dials, so one for exposure compensation, the other for shooting modes, so you can easily switch between aperture, shutter speed and manual, for example, without having to fiddle around in the menus, which can often be quite time-consuming and frustrating, and again, another massive improvement over the previous model. Now, there are three customizable function buttons. So you've got your trash button, you've got your dedicated function button, and you've got the movie record mode button. But the clever bit is that if you assign a custom function to the trash or movie buttons, they automatically revert back to their default modes when used during playback or when the dial is switched to movie record mode, which will no doubt prove useful and is actually quite a nice touch. Controlling the camera using the touchscreen is pretty straightforward, plus it's got an intuitive user interface which helps. It responds quickly to my tap, so I'd say it's just as responsive as a smartphone screen, and I like being able to switch between the touchscreen and mode dials when navigating the menu or changing the exposure. You also get a clear and sharp view of the screen, colours appear accurate, and overall the screen is quite a well implemented camera feature. Selecting a focus point by simply tapping the screen is also intuitive and fast. It's pretty accurate too, and does a great job of locking onto a target when using tracking autofocus, while making the most of the camera's continuous shooting capabilities, which captures images at 4.2 frames per second.
This section of the video was shot using the Canon M3, which can record in full HD in the MP4 format at 30 frames per second.
As you can see, in good light, focus is smooth, and being able to set the focus position while shooting creates a nice, almost cinematic pull focus effect. Additionally, Canon has also included manual focus peaking, which makes it easier to see which parts of the scene are in focus. Pretty handy.
Of course, if you don't have a lovely camera person on hand to film you, the screen can be tilted up 180 degrees to face you, which is great for video blogs and for selfies. If you're already invested in the Canon system, your existing lenses will work with the M3, although you'll need an adapter. But Canon's flash guns, Canon-compatible microphones, and the DC-1 electronic viewfinder will all work with the M3's hot shoe.
Or if you're just looking for a small, capable camera that isn't as hefty as a DSLR but offers DSLR quality images and decent performance, the M3 might be worth a look in. It's got full manual control, but for those who are just starting out, it's got great assist features to get stuck into as well. Canon has even launched its own dedicated companion app for the M3, where you'll find creative photography tutorials, tips and tricks, alongside other useful information such as getting started and, of course, how to get to grips with your shiny new camera.